Let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order.
Fear itself.
A world where the rule of law.
All right, everybody, welcome to Red Pill Rapport. This is episode number 5.
That's a milestone right there.
Amazing, right? It just kind of flew by. And, we've had some interesting conversations, Josh. And I think we're starting to get some people to start thinking on their own. And
that's the goal, isn't it?
Absolutely, because, there's a lot of entities and things that kind of force their thoughts upon you. So that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to just get people to start thinking critically, start being logical about what they think about, and start vetting the information before they spew it out. So I'm excited. It's, Josh, we've got a good response with people that actually want to join this platform and contribute the expertise that we have. So we've got a lot of subject matter experts out there, and it's amazing.
We have an expert on today also.
Oh, absolutely. Today we have our guest. He's a fighter. He's a kickboxing fighter. He's a kickboxing champion, and he's an actor. He's a filmmaker, documentary filmmaker. He's an activist. He's a spiritual warrior. He's the creator of iCureCancer.com and author. He fights the good fight. He's a holistic cancer coach. His name is Ian Jacklin. Ian, welcome to Red Pill Rapport. You still got it, man. You still got it.
Thanks for having me. It's an honor and a pleasure, and it's good timing too. Very synchronistic as to what's going on in the universe. I love your show. I listen to them all, and really, we're on the same vibration for sure. And it's really good timing for everybody to be here, because we passed that December 21st, 2012, a long time ago. We're flowing now. We're rolling. I mean, if you're not speaking telepathically to your mate, maybe you need to go vegan for a while.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, yeah, we'll start. We want to start though. I'm ready to rock and roll.
Okay.
I love the health aspect, and I love the mind, body, soul. It's all connected,
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, let's talk about the health aspect. I reached out to you, a few years ago, and I don't know if you remember this or not, but I had a buddy of mine that had terminal cancer. He had stage 4, and we're just trying to figure out how to help him. And, I reached out to you, and you gave me some information. You offered to give us free coaching if we couldn't afford it, which I think is just fabulous. Where you're making a great cause for this. We didn't go that route. My buddy is cured of cancer. So yeah, it's amazing that the turnaround with him. So I wanted to kind of delve into your research and how you got started. I know you've had a couple documentaries, and I Cure Cancer is your baby. This is what you're known for. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I was doing a play in Los Angeles in the late 90s, and I overheard one of the actresses say she cured herself of cancer. The UCLA doctors said she was a medical miracle. And I look back at her, I'm like, this is Hollywood. Okay, she's probably just, trying to BS her way through something.
Right.
And so I had to say something, and I said, what are you talking about? You can't cure cancer. What do you mean? And she said, no, it's true. My UCLA doctor said I'm a medical miracle. They can't believe it. And long story short, we ended up being friends for forever. And I learned she did it through the holistic methods. But this is back in the 90s when nobody knew that. Nobody knew what alkaline meant. The way she did it was because she didn't know how she did it. She just is a very spiritual person and was studying with the Essenes. You know, Jesus Christ was an Essene. I'm an Essene. So she was given the proper path to go. She wanted to cure cancer. Turns out you don't die of cancer so much, you die of acidosis. She was acidic. She had and one of the pathogens too, the cervical cancer. That's what they try and vaccinate you for. What's it called?
HPV.
Yeah. Yeah, the HPV vaccination. Total BS, folks. Because even if, God forbid, you got that disease, that's the reason why I made I Cure Cancer is because somebody I know cured themselves of that easily. It's just a pathogen. And we didn't even know that back then. I think she mainly did it just through getting alkaline. Because I ended up shooting a documentary because of her. Because I didn't believe her at first. And then in the end, I was like, whoa, man, I've been lied to.
Right.
By this system. And that really hurt me. I don't know why. It just really hurt me that, you know, my family, my mom or somebody had, because I used to worry my mom would get cancer because I thought it ran her family. It didn't turn out. That's another story. But so I worried about that. And it turns out it doesn't run in families either. The habits of each member of the family does. So I'm kind of getting off on a tangent here, but let's get back to the, so I made the movie I Cure Cancer because I met this girl doing the play. And I wanted to prove to the world or to myself that this can't be true because my doctor wouldn't lie to me. I've seen him. I look him in his eyes.
Right.
You know? But it turns out they don't know because they've been misguided. They were taught wrong. It's a draconian system. And at the end of the day, I had to find out who the Rockefellers were because it's Rockefeller medicine. And that's all. You can't patent natural treatments, so they have to make drugs that they can patent. It's all about money, big pharma. So it was so disheartening to learn that my fellow man failed. My generation before me failed. I mean, it's a draconian system, but now, thanks to the internet, we know it, and we're on them. And it's like my reverend, who's in the scene, explained to me recently, eventually they won't even be a part of our consciousness. You know, the people that control us, the Rothschilds, who it boils down to. So we can get deeper into that later.
Right.
But for now, just for the health aspect, yeah, I made that documentary, which basically, and I ran into Dr. Bernardo, of all people, talked about synchronicity and being on the right path. Okay. This guy knew about the alkaline diet. I think I'm the first person to ever put a video up on the internet about alkaline diets because I shot him back in 2003. And he's like, yeah, you don't die of cancer, you die of acidosis. I've never lost a patient to prostate cancer. It just needs nutrition, you need some lycopene. You know, and I ended up down the line curing myself, I think, of prostate cancer using that. Because, I mean, I wasn't stupid enough to get a biopsy. That spreads cancer. So, anyway, I learned a lot of stuff and I applied it to my own life, and I've helped a lot of other people. And thank you for bringing up I do treat for free. Because I don't really treat, I just wake people up. It's 411. It's information. It's light. It's free.
Right.
I mean, if anybody ever wants to help me out, great. But, you know, the key is you get the light and spread it.
Right. Absolutely. So you've talked about Dr. Bernardo, and I think Dr. Bernardo is from South Texas. I think he's from the Valley. It's from Mission, Texas or something like that, right? So that's like a hop, skip, and a jump from here. So the people here in Texas, San Antonio, we know the area. So yes, I saw the documentary. I saw his clip on that, and he also he talks a lot about the alkaline system and how to get your body alkaline. So can you tell our audience a little bit about how your body is acidic and how you can take steps to raise the alkaline level in your body?
Okay. Yeah, and this is a legitimate cure. They try to bury this. Otto Warburg figured it out way back in the day, the early 1900s, that cancer can't live in an oxygenated system. So, an alkaline. So you basically do that through dark cruciferous vegetables. And sure, the minerals and everything you're getting is helping the what do they call it? The whatever gold, monatomic gold.
Monatomic gold.
Yeah, all the minerals, everything, that helps too. But the point is you're getting alkaline. Your pH, you can watch your pH go from 5. If you have any kind of tumor-type cancer, like a breast cancer, your pH is probably 5. I mean, at 4.5, you die. At 6.3 is average. That's what most people walk around in if they're not careful. And what we want is 7.2 to 7.4. And you can get these pH strips at any health food store. Test the saliva under your tongue in the morning. Mm-hmm. Okay. Or make sure you haven't had any meals in the last couple hours. And it's just a good guide. It's not the end all be all, but it's nice to see it go from yellow to green because of your diet and your supplements and your mind. My thoughts make it acidic too. So it's a mind, body, soul thing again.
Right.
So the key is to an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure too. You'd really want to start eating green now. Maybe even go lean toward, try vegan. For a month, I did vegan for 2 months when I thought I had the prostate cancer, and my acidity went. I was like 5, and I watched it.
Wow.
I had to watch myself, and I was 5 for months and months and months. I went vegan for 2 months, and it was right back up to 7.4 total green, and it was amazing. And when I finally let myself eat meat again, I never felt so sick in my life. I thought I was going to die. It was in Tijuana actually. It was so I go down there and talk to the clinics and stuff,
Right.
and. I had just basically found out that I'm clear and everything's good, and a friend wanted to buy me a big steak, so I said, okay. I was out in front of my hotel like this, just thinking I was going to die one night. And then, unfortunately, I slowly went back to the whole, I was Haagen-Dazs again eventually. I mean, I'm back now, but, I mean, I had a little, one of these.
Right.
But at any rate, so I highly try going vegan for a month or two. I would never go 100% vegan all the time, because even my friends that have done it for years, they say about the 2-year mark, they get something. And so they have to bring back in the salmon, maybe some bison once in a while. You just, instead of 3 times a day, maybe 3 times a week. That's how I started out anyway.
Right.
I used to have bacon in the morning, sandwich meat at lunch, and steak at night.
Right.
So horrible. Yeah. And the reason why, if people don't know, aside from the physics behind the chemistry of the disgusting stuff you're putting in you, especially if it's GMO and not natural. Don't tell me I'm going to lose this one. Oh, I'm talking about the steak, right?
Right. You were vegan for a while, and then you went back to steak, and you felt lower vibration. You felt bad.
Oh yeah. And my friends that have been vegan for many years, they say you have to add in. I think I've summed it up. You have to add in, some of the steaks and stuff. Bison, but again, it's got to be organic. That's where I was going with that. Make sure it's always organic.
Right.
So that's where I am at now. A nice sort of once a week, twice a week, I'll enjoy some kind of meat. But
right. So
the keys are really. Oh, I never even got there. I'm sorry. It's the blessing. You have to be blessing both foods, the veggies and the meat. And the thing that weighs you down about the meat though is the bad karma. That's where I was going. This is Gerald Clark. Yeah, Gerald Clark's theory. You're holding dead energy in you, something that died and suffered its whole life. Whereas when you're having something from the garden, it's all fresh and beautiful.
Right. So yeah, it's the cows get brought up and they're farmed, and before they're taken to harvest, I guess whatever you want to call it, slaughtered. They know what's happening, and the fear is built up in these animals before they die, before they're slaughtered, and that vibration stays in that meat. And then when we eat this meat, then that vibration transfers to us. So that's how it lowers our vibration. And that's where a lot of spiritual people will stay away from the meat because of that. Not only the health aspect, because of the vibration aspect as well.
Yeah, thank you. And that's what I was trying to spit out there, because I can't miss this one point.
So yeah, that's fascinating. So hopefully our audience can take that in, kind of chew on it for a little bit. No pun intended.
And I can tell you right now, because I used to work. So I'm a big guy, bodybuilder, professional fighter, and I always want to be the biggest, strongest, meanest. And I'm way more wicked now. Pure vegan or almost vegan, I mean, when I say wicked, I mean wicked good.
Right.
I am the light now. I'm like not totally telepathic, but I mean, I've always been clairsentient. One of my friends told me this would happen. Once I went basically this way, my vibration will just go, and it has. And I'm better. I'm more strong than I've ever been. And I don't eat hardly any protein. And if it does, it's from the plants.
Right.
So we're some other kind of chemistry going on than what we were raised to believe.
Absolutely. And that goes back to the whole indoctrination system, where we go to this public school system and they teach us what they want us to know. And even beyond elementary and high school, it goes to the colleges, and then it goes to the medical schools. And that's where we're at with this whole system, where we take in the chemicals that the the pharmacies give us and the doctors prescribe us. Can you tell us a little bit about how that schooling system, or what we're looking at there?
You mean like who runs what and why?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what you figure out. When I made the movie, anybody can watch it on YouTube. It's called I Cure Cancer. Ian Jacklin's my name. And I learned that there's a group of people called the Rockefellers. And I was like, I used to go to a bar called that, when I was a kid. And I didn't know anything about politics or anything. I always stayed away from BS, just naturally. So the Rockefellers I looked into, found out they're Illuminati. I'm like, what's Illuminati? Oh, they're the ones that did 9/11. Okay, and I just learned who did 9/11.
Right.
The CIA, the Zionists, the Illuminati, we'll say.
Right.
So it made a little sense, and I dug deeper and deeper, and all of a sudden Rockefeller sold out to the Rothschilds, and the big pharma comes in so they can patent everything and charge for it. And okay, so you want me to go really deep? So here's where we were. This was who's the head of the hospitals, who's the head of the medical systems. The Flexner Report is a great thing to check out, because that shows you where back in the early 1900s, they basically buried holistic medicine and made only their Western medicine, Rockefeller medicine, legal. They put so many people out of business. Cannabis was in almost anybody's medical cabinet back in the day. Now it's not, or it's just starting to come back now. We lost it all that time because of these people. They're draconians, okay? They're reptilians. I'm sorry, David Icke is right. Energetically, at the very least. I don't know if they're actual reptilian big lizard people, or we could just think they are because of the way they treat us.
Right.
But at any rate, and then I hate to say it, and this is no disrespect or dishonor to any of my RH negative-blooded friends, and I've got a lot of them.
So do I.
Okay, so if you're raised in the hood, you're in the hood, and there's no racism anymore. There's the Rothschilds and not the Rothschilds, okay? And we're not the Rothschilds.
Right.
And looking at them as however you want, they make us, people, whether you believe this or not, suffer for their black magic demons. They keep us in control with their black magic. They've got us doing all these different religions, which our hearts are in the right spots, but they're misdirecting that energy. And they know how to direct their energy, but they kill children and use that energy and direct it to keep us down. And we're learning all this now. That pedophilia is going down. And a lot of, I hear, who knows what they're going to, I hope they go for the Fed. But I believe in my heart, because I have to be positive, that the cabal is crumbling, because we, the people, are waking up, and our energies, that's what Reverend Lynn was telling me, our energies, our consciousness will change things.
Right.
We don't even necessarily have to go up and fight them back. Our consciousness should change things.
The collective consciousness.
Yes, yes.
So the more conversations that citizens like you and I have regarding these topics, and the more that we bring this topic out to the public and get people to react, they initially, of course, and then once they're done with that, then hey, they're going to do their own research, and now guess what? Now they're part of the collective. So I see what you're saying there. Yeah,
and so if we go a little deeper, because my next film is called Space Cadet, by the way. That's what a lot of people call me now, because, I went from Mr. IQ Cancer Guy, which I still am, and I wrote the book and made the movie. There you go. Okay, but now I'm on something else.
Yes.
Why is that system screwed up? Because of this film, I'm going to show you Space Cadet. Basically, we're not even, everything they told us is a lie, okay? You want me to get into this yet?
Let's do it.
Okay, everything I told you is a lie. I've been researching this a lot. If you look me up, Ian Jacklin on YouTube, I've got like a list, waking up list, and just a lot of lists on waking up. So here it is in a nutshell. And if you read the Bible, the Autohasis, the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Emerald Tablets. I'm not just talking. You can't just know the Bible. Okay, you have to know all the Bible.
Right.
And people like my friend Gerald Clark knows them all, studied them all. Matt LaCroix, and this is basically, they've studied Sitchin's work and Vander planets. You know who I'm talking about? Vander.
No.
I always get it wrong. Vander, whatever. Everybody knows who I'm talking about. So All right, so where are we in the story? Basically, the Sitchin's work says that aliens came down, spacemen, men, just like you and I, okay, only way more evolved.
And
came down
giants.
came down to Earth a long time ago. And for many, many years, did their own work, mined their own gold, whatever, but they got tired of it, and they wanted to make a primitive. They took the caveman, basically, and made him smart enough to take up orders, but not smart enough to revolt.
Right.
So they thought. That's what's happening now. Took a long time. These guys, they're called, some people say they're from the planet Nibiru, but I'm pretty sure even before that, they're from Aldebaran. Mm-hmm. And we call them the Anunnaki, those that came from above to the Earth. Or
the Anunnaki, yes.
Yeah, everybody calls them the Anunnaki, but they're really, I think they're from Aldebaran or Aldebaran, however you say it. I'm just learning all this stuff, you know. Again, I have a group called Space Cadet on Facebook, so all you space cadets out there, I feel you, and if anybody's making fun of you, tell me and I'll come join you. We'll go see. I've been bullied since I started realizing that, but it turns out it's impossible for us to be alone. Statistically,
right.
We can't. So anyway, I put Space Cadet up on Facebook. Anybody wants to join? Yeah,
definitely. We'll make sure that we put a link to the Space Cadet. I just joined the group a couple of days ago, so there's a lot of documentaries on there that you can learn the history of history, which is, you know, it's a huge realm. There's so many different ways you can learn from there. So yeah, thanks for inviting me to that, and we'll make sure that we link that on there.
It really, I mean, just real quick, because that's a big topic to hit somebody with. Let's just think about it. We clone sheep and stuff like that now. I mean, they basically came down and made us human beings to be their slaves. And we grew out of proportion. Now there's 7.5 billion of us, and they don't really know what to do with us. And there's a ton. There's not just one set of aliens, the ones that made us. There's a ton of them. There's good, bad, and indifferent. They say as above, so below. It's true. I mean, look in this life. There's good people and bad people. So and we're going to get to what to do about all this, because you don't have to fear any of it.
Right.
It's all about love and light. It's all about frequency.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this. So Red Pill Rapport is a new platform, and we're jumping into this. It seems like there's some sort of an agenda to discredit people like ourselves that think critically, that can be logical on their research and vet their research. It seems like there's a mass agenda to discredit people like us, and conspiracy theory is the word that is being thrown out there to program the masses to react a certain way, like we have some sort of chemical imbalance in our brain, or if we're schizophrenic, or can you enlighten us on what we're looking at that as far as the big picture?
Yeah, okay, so the Anunnaki who came to Earth, the first test tube babies that lived, ended up being called the Rothschilds. Started off Rothschilds. This is, hundreds of years in the making of Adam and Eve and test tubes. And all of a sudden they got this family that seems to be okay. They can hold their own. They can run things. They're called the Rothschilds. And they make up the Masons, Freemasons. Mm. And next thing you know, here we are, okay? So they run everything from day one. So basically, we used to think, here's the president of the United States, that's number one guy. No, there's a whole bunch of people just before we get to off planet. Right. Okay, and then off planet, who knows? Now, from what I understand is we're in sort of an anomaly or a freak experiment, and we're being watched, and we're not. The one universal law is they can't do anything to you without telling us first. So that's why on The Simpsons you'll see all the things that are going to happen to us.
Free will. The law of
free will. So that's where this is where the solution's coming in. Is the free will is knowing you have free will. You are God. You don't have to wait for anybody to come save you. You have the energy and the frequency, and nothing can touch you. My reverend told me this years ago, and one time I was in somebody else's house sleeping, and all of a sudden I woke up to a dark figure choking me. So when a lot of people get this,
a lot of my friends talk to me about that.
Okay, yeah, I have asked. Yes, but I'm in a scene. I've been meditating like Christ for years. Okay, so I didn't get tripped out or nothing. I just looked at it and I gave it some love, and I saw that wasn't doing anything. So I was like, all right, I bitch slapped that thing and bounced off the wall and disappeared. I'm like,
wow,
that's what I thought.
That's crazy. So,
and then there was 2 pictures though on the wall, black and white, of who it was. 2 spirits trying to hold me down, and I was like, okay. And they disappeared, and I saw they were. Years later, when I put it all together, I went back to that moment. And I freed them. I said, "You guys go back to the light. It's okay." Because they were in a battleground. I was sleeping in somebody's battleground. I'm sure. I don't know if I killed them or they killed me. Who knows? But whatever. I remember to go back to that moment and clear that energy. Just for shits and giggles.
Right. So in the moment. So when you wake up and you're in the moment, you think it's a dream, but then you realize that no, this is real. This is happening because you were in the state of mind and you've trained your mind to not react and to stay calm through meditation. You were able to gather your thoughts and to assert your divinity towards these evil spirits. And that's the thing. We are all divine beings. We all have that spark of divinity inside us. And once we realize that we have that and we can use that against the darkness, we are super powerful. We are co-creators. We are superhuman, and we actually are stronger than them. And we can get rid of them just by thought and with love, of course. Love is the answer. Love is the answer.
Or neutral. I found out you could be neutral. You don't have to be all lovey-dovey, especially if you don't even like them.
Well, I find that if you show them appreciation for the experience that you just learned, that's pretty much good enough.
Yeah, you're right. I did come full circle because at first I smacked them, but then I came back, and I loved them.
Oh, it's like, crazy, right? I didn't mean to smack you around like that. I'm a kickboxer, Yeah, that
ain't the freakiest thing that happened. Here's the freakiest.
Okay.
I had just come off of a long bender, years of suicidal drinking and drugging and just miserable. This is after the good years, after the days of our lives, soap opera, the championship. This is when everybody doesn't care who you are and you're left to your own device.
Right.
And so I was drinking and everything and partying, and wasn't partying. It was suicide. I wasn't so much an alcoholic. I just didn't want to be here anymore. I hit that 27-year mark. It's a return to Saturn. Basically, your soul's been around the universe once. You get it, and you're done. But I knew not to do that, and I knew I was supposed to be here for now. I'm 50 now, and I'm supposed to be here for this stuff, for my book and all that.
Right.
So, okay, where was I going with that one?
You had a more freaky experience.
Oh yeah, so I decided I always had the light in me though. Every time I was almost dead, somebody would call the ambulance for me or something, and I would start a comeback. And I was with my good friend Dina Walsh. She had a gym in upstate New York. It was near Horseheads, and so I started detoxing, going into a red light sauna and getting all these garbage out of me, and I sobered up and just got back into shape. And then she started, because she's a very spiritual woman, she also does energy healing, Reiki, only it's the Exponent 10, her own thing. And she talked me into doing one, and because I already knew, I was studying with the Essenes, I thought, I'll see what you got. Mm-hmm. And she does the whole thing, and I don't feel nothing. She asked me, how do you feel? I go, I didn't really feel anything. And then all of a sudden I feel this. And I look behind me, and I'm against the wall, and I have a New York Yankee ball cap on tight, and I feel something's flipping and falling, and it's like a little VHS thing that most kids won't know what that is, but when we had VHS tape, you could pop a thing out so you wouldn't record over your VHS tape.
Right.
It looked like that, and it fell onto the floor, and it disappeared, and she saw it. So if she didn't see it, I think I was nuts, and I wouldn't have said no. She saw it too, so we're like, did you see that? Yeah. You see it? What was it? I don't know. And so she had to ask her master, and she said it was some kind of cosmic plasma or something. Who knows? Whatever it was, some kind of chip. Mm-hmm. And it was because they say when you're drinking and doing drugs, you're on a bad vibration. Gray aliens can connect to you.
Right.
Some people that do meth and shit, that's the worst. I never did that shit. Mm-hmm. I tried it, but I was mainly just a boozer and a depressed soul. Yeah.
Right.
And but I beat all that, obviously.
Well, good.
Maybe that'll be my next book.
Yeah, right.
This one was how to cure cancer. The next one was how to really want to live again.
Right. So do you think that was some sort of an attachment or some sort of implant that the Reiki energy you got rid of?
It's a good question. I really don't know. I feel like it was probably because apparently when you're hanging out in bars, that energy's there, and any a lost soul could find your soul, and they like the same vibration. Oh, woe is me, life sucks,
Right.
and they'll just sink into you.
Right.
And then it's harder to get out.
Right.
FYI, anybody out there, one of the first things I do if I wanted to quit drinking now is I would go and get an energy healer to clean the demons out of you. They call it spirits for a reason.
I was just going to say that. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm sure that's what it was, because the liquor, man. Forget about it.
Good. I'm glad you brought that up. So,
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about how we can manage this in our everyday lives. There's a lot coming on that we've talked about a lot, and the people that are listening here, hopefully they'll go and do some research on themselves, because like we said on our intro episode, Josh and I, we don't want people just to blindly believe what we're talking about. We want them to actually go and do their own research and figure it out for themselves how they want to feel about it.
So they can learn to walk on their own and not just following something blindly.
Exactly.
Expanding their mind, their consciousness.
Right, exactly. So what can we do as humanity, as the collective, to take all these pills, these red pills, and swallow them and digest them and still stay sane about it, because there's a lot. How can we manage that?
I would do the same thing that I do, and you process everything. Take everything with a grain of salt, especially this. And because let me tell you, I was the first one to fight. My girlfriend at the time was teaching me. I always have a girlfriend. The one taught me about how to cure cancer, and this one taught me about aliens. And for the longest time, I'm like, get a job, stop talking to me about this, get off the internet and, help me. But finally I realized she was right. And so now I got to go through that, because everybody thinks I'm the space cadet. So just don't even worry about it. Don't tell people at first. Just start reading and get on YouTube. Rather than that TV is horrible. Oh, I didn't get to that point. See, that's the Zionist media. They own all the radio, all the TV, all the movies, all the books, everything. So everything everything I know is wrong, because they led us that way. It's a classic war move. That's why they're in charge. That's why they're the winners still.
The history was written by the winners, and that's why they call it his story.
Yeah. And then here's the one thing. Nobody should feel so bad about the human race. They always say, oh, humans, we ruined everything. No, we've been misguided. We've been misled. We've been built to suffer. What we do is when we cry and we hurt and we want to die, like those years I was suicidal, that's loosh. I'm creating loosh. I was feeding archons. I was feeding the dark spirits. And that's what you got to learn if you're in that mode of quitting bad things for yourself. Good. Drop the energy. Let the dark go away. Christ said, you too will do things as amazing as I have. And it's true. That's what we're all doing now. I mean, the light workers that are out there today,
we all have that innate ability, and it's happening, Ian. The collective is waking up little by little. In this podcast, Red Pill Rapport is evidence of that, because Josh and I, we're just humans. We're just people that have questions, and we want answers, and we want people to benefit from these answers. So platforms such as this, subject matter experts such as you, we're here for a reason. We're here to help humanity. And I guess the number one takeaway is the loosh energy is to just, do your best not to react to any situation negatively. If something's happening to you, don't take it personal. Suffer what there is to suffer. Enjoy what there is to enjoy. With every winter comes a spring. So, things happen for a reason. There's always cycles. And the information that we get, just don't get too attached to it. And just, think critically about it and learn as much as you can. And again, just practice non-attachment.
Yeah, that's really good. The other thing is again, the closer to vegan you can be, the higher frequency is going to be. And darkness can't even come to you anymore. That's what's great about it. Once you start doing everything, anything that you may have had baggage wise, it's just going to fall off the end. And it's like my reverend was saying, it's like, you don't have to be the one that goes and shoot the person for ruining the world, because their own karma is going to handle that for you.
Absolutely.
All you got to do is worry about yourself. Yeah. Make yourself a better person. And know, okay, now this whole thing about, I didn't mean to like ruin everybody's thought process on God. Your God's still your God. Just know that it's also their God. Know that the God you're praying up, even if it's the Muslim or the Jew or the Christians, it's the same. It's the intention, power of intent. There's a book called Power of Intent. That's how you cure yourself of cancer. If you come to me as a cancer coach, it doesn't matter if you're Muslim or Christian or Jewish, as long as you believe in something. Even if you believe in the flying spaghetti monster, that's all I care about, is that power of intent.
Right. Dr. Wayne Dwyer was the author of that book.
Yeah.
One of the first books that woke me up. Yes.
Yeah, but we should all have that kind of. Just think of yourself as spiritual. We're source. We are God. Like source made us. So that means we're source. That means we're God. So we don't really. I mean, Christ is like another belt, a black belt. That's an energy you want to achieve. Everybody wants to achieve. It's called becoming light and becoming a nice guy. Ever notice Jesus, who basically was polite and nice?
Right. All the religions preach the same thing pretty much, is don't be a jerk. Just don't be a douche, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, drink water, not wine.
Yeah. So good point. Keep your vibration high. Do what you can not to react negatively, and just learn and think critically and stay in your heart. That is very important, just to stay in your heart. Ian, thank you very much for joining us today. Why don't you tell the audience how they can get a hold of you?
Yes, please.
Okay, well, icurecancer.com is one of my sites. Another one's archangelstudios.org, archangelstudios.org. There's some cool supplements there. I got things to put on your cell phone so they're not as bad. And my book's there, my film's there. So, and I'm available for cancer coaching. My email is like G.I. Joe, but G.I. Jacklin, Jacklin at Yahoo. So feel free to shout out. My book's going to be on Amazon finally, like 3 years later. I've been sabotaged, bro. But finally it's going to be on. The next week it should be on Amazon. I Cure Cancer.
Next week. Oh, wow. Well, congratulations. Yeah. What great timing. This is great timing.
Oh, yeah. I thought that's why you did the show. You were just being a bro, but thanks.
That's the synchronicity that we're talking about. So yeah, wonderful. Good deal. All right. Well, very much. Thank you very much, Ian. We appreciate you being on the show, and we look forward to having you again. And, it's a growing process. Red Pill Rapport is a grassroots efforts, and we appreciate the audience listening and share and like our podcast and show the support that you can.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, Roman, coming back into it after talking to Ian. How do you pronounce his last name?
Jacklin.
Ian Jacklin. I didn't want to interrupt him, and there were a couple of things I wanted to chime in on. You and I have talked about it before. I don't want to say I'm the skeptic of the group, but I am naive to all this, and some things that I don't necessarily follow. But there were some things in there that really chimed with me. Some of the things that he said.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, I don't think I could ever go completely vegan. But over the past 2 weeks, I've been cutting back on meats, red meats, chickens, everything, and going more to a plant-based diet.
Oh, good for you.
And I'm not a forgive the term, but a hippie tree hugger or anything like that. That some people would call me for doing that. But I just wanted to try something different because I wasn't feeling right.
Right.
And I've dropped 12 pounds. But besides, everybody knows if you mix in a salad, you're gonna feel better, right?
Right.
But the thing is, it's changed my mood. It's changed my interaction with people. And him talking about how it changes your frequency and it aligns that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that really struck a chord with me because I hadn't thought about that. I knew I was going to lose weight. I knew it was going to help my numbers, like blood pressure and stuff like that.
Right.
But I didn't realize how it was going to change my outlook on things and the things that my interactions with people.
Yeah. So what's happening there? It seems like you are raising your vibration, and as a result, your thought patterns are more clear. You probably have more clarity. Ian talked about having more psychic abilities after he went vegan, and that's a thing. Whatever psychic ability you're strong with today, and you clear your vibration through the foods and energy work and meditation, you do start experiencing that.
I never thought about the bad karma, the bad frequency going through slaughtered meat.
Oh yeah.
And it's something that I heard the other day talking about these people that go into the morgues and the recently killed people, and the I forgot what it's called, but it's a chemical in the brain and the pineal gland that people that have been...
You're talking about adrenochrome.
That's, yes.
Yes.
Yes. And thinking about that, pulling that from people, but I mean, if an animal's been traumatized, if there's something going through it, not just the frequency, but the chemical that's rushing through the body. I mean, because adrenaline runs through the body. If you're scared, if you're right, if you don't know what's going on, it works the same for animals as well. That I'm assuming, not that I know.
Yeah, and it does, and that's why, that's one of the reasons why, like I talked about earlier, that people stay away from meat from slaughtered animals. They'll like to go with grass-fed, or just knowing that they're not slaughtered.
As opposed to these factories where they're just run through. And I can't believe I'm saying these words myself, because I'm not one of, like I said, forgive the annotation to it, but the long-haired hippie,
tree hugger. I love to hug trees, Josh. Trees love my hugs.
I know people and I'm related to people, and at one time in my life probably would have been one of those people that would just group in everybody as long-haired hippies.
We were all there, man. We were all there at once, and all it takes is one person to get into your life, or one platform, one podcast you listen to, one YouTube video, one blog that you read, one article. All it takes is one, and when you're ready, when your soul is ready, you get activated, there's no turning back.
Well, there's something else. Do we have time?
Yes.
Something else that Ian said that clicked. Well, there's two things that I want to talk about. One of them was, and you and I have kind of talked about it before. I woke up one morning, and the layout to my house is very weird. There is a extra room to nowhere connected to my bedroom that leads to a hall that it makes no sense, right? And I left this door open, and one late night, early morning, I woke up and I felt that something was watching me. I felt like I couldn't breathe, and I looked up, and there was this shape, a form of a person. And like I said, I can't believe I'm saying this and admitting this out to people. And
this is good.
I was laying on my stomach, and it was towards my left in front of me in that extra little hall. And I saw it, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm just dreaming. Because a lot of times in my dreams, I realize I'm dreaming, and then I just do whatever I want to do in my dreams.
Right. And that's a thing, too. Lucid dreaming.
For real?
Yes. We got to talk about that soon.
Oh, okay. And so I thought to myself, well, I'm just dreaming. And I told it in, are we cussing on this or no?
I honestly don't think it matters, because...
Well, I'll edit it. So I looked at it, and I thought to myself, oh, well, I'm dreaming, so I'm just going to be cocky about it. And I told it, I said, you know what, just F off. And then when I said that, it kind of moved a little bit, not towards me or anything like that. And I went to sit up, and then my back hurt, because I have lower back pain. And I never hurt in my dreams. I only hurt in real life.
Oh.
And I realized that I was awake. That this was really happening. And this was really in my eyes.
Could you still see this shadow?
And I still could. And I closed the door, and then I turned to my left where my clock was at, and I looked. It was 3:35 in the morning. And I just sat there for a little bit, a couple minutes, and I laid back down, went back to sleep. And since then, I haven't opened that door overnight. I mean, it's open right now, and that was my last brush with that.
Wow. So do you feel that you did claim your power when you told it to F off and it listened to you because it knew that you had more power than it?
I don't know. I didn't put that kind of thought into it. But I mean, as soon as I felt that pain in my back and I realized I wasn't dreaming, that was...
Yeah. So when you closed the door, do you think there was some sort of portal there that you may have closed when you closed the door?
I haven't had that issue again since then, so...
Yeah, my friend, she just moved into a house, and I helped her cleanse it. We went through with some sage and whatnot, and some affirmations, and she felt okay for a couple weeks after that. But there was this in her pantry. There was the elderly that lived there before. She had a door that went from her pantry to, on the other side of the pantry wall was her closet. So there was a door in that pantry leading into her closet that goes into her master bedroom. So that's kind of weird, right? It's like a secret door.
Like a maze into the... Yeah.
Right. So a couple weeks later, she starts to feel something is around again. And I think it's her dad came in and fixed the wall and put up some sheetrock and, closed that wall there. And ever since then, she has felt clear, like there's nobody around anymore.
Nice.
So that may have been the issue as well. I think it's a same kind of story.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing, right? The experiences that people have. And more and more people are going to have these conscious experiences, and they're not going to know what's happening. They're going to wake up. Oh, I think you had one of those.
Yeah.
Josh, why don't you talk to us about the conscious experience that you had when you woke up and I think you know where I'm going with this.
No, I don't. I'm lost.
Okay, so
we've talked about a bunch of
stuff
that I've experienced that.
So did you see yourself in your body and somebody else experiencing?
Yes. Yeah.
I
didn't know we were going to talk about this. This is something that you and I talked about outside the tattoo parlor.
Are you okay with this?
Yeah.
We don't have to go there, but people will.
Just a short breakdown of what I told you about. And you know what? It's been since I rearranged the bedroom that this has happened. Because this is the same layout that when I had the experience with the door. One night I woke up in my room and in my body, but it was like it wasn't my body. Like I was lost. I wasn't in the right place. My body didn't feel right. You know how you know where your lower back pain's at. You know how your hands feel. You.
Right.
And when I woke up, I wasn't me, but it was like somebody else was also in there with me, and they were freaking out because they weren't in the right place.
Wow.
And I was just in the back seat, like I was watching a movie of somebody else waking up in my body.
Could you feel their emotion?
I felt them being scared. I felt the fear.
Do you think that was your fear or theirs?
It wasn't the same lack of a better term, same flavor of my fear.
Okay, so it sounds like you were feeling their emotions.
Right.
Wow. So have you seen that movie on Netflix? I think it's on. It's not a movie, but a series. It's called Sense8.
No. I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I suggest you check it out because they have the same type of experiences on that show. So that may help you kind of get a grasp on what's happening with that type of conscious experience. And it will help our audience that are listening to this that have that same conscious experience and are afraid to talk to people about it because of the repercussions.
That's something that I do want to do here. Like I said, it's not that I'm a skeptic or anything like that, but we've been taught how to think and how to react to these things. And if you think these things on your own, you have an overactive imagination, or you're crazy or anything like that. That's what we're being told. And I was scared to tell people about these things. And you were one of the few people that was open-minded enough that I knew I could tell you about these without you looking at me like I was crazy. So, one last thing that Ian touched on, that something I've been saying since I was a little kid, and I actually got in trouble in Sunday school for thinking about it. All these different religions that are out there, they're all basically saying the same thing, and it's people that misconstrue it and make them bad, or add something to it that messes it up for everything else. I've said, well, aren't all these gods just the same God, but people have different languages, so they say the name differently? Because the story is the same, the point is the same, and I love how you said it. Just don't be a douchebag.
Exactly. Just keep your vibration high and just be good to people. It's karma, the law of cause and effect.
Wow. So yeah, I mean, I think he was a really good guest. Good call right there, Romy.
Yeah,
I'm trying to call you Rudy.
That's okay. You can call me Rudy Russo because I am a professional wrestler and I am active in the wrestling scene. And we do run a promotion, and it's called Galactic Professional Wrestling. And we will be doing some shows here very soon. The show is going to be April 28th here in San Antonio.
428.
428. Hey, today is 3/3. Today's the 3/3 portal. So for all you meditators out there, go ahead and go get some quiet time and look within. Today's a very significant day. Going back to my event, it's on 428. It's going to be at the Well in San Antonio, Texas. So just keep an eye out for it. Look me up, Rudy Russo. Look up Galactic Professional Wrestling. Look up Josh and his platforms. You got something, Josh?
I'm all over the place. Hatchet TV, Old Mary Gamer, all that stuff.
Yeah, good times. So, great interview, man. This was a great episode. I'm looking forward to getting some feedback, good and bad. So if there's any, anybody out there that wants to contribute with some feedback and just give us some tips on the podcast or how we can make things better or
what we're doing too much of or not enough of.
Exactly. So we're going to be very open to feedback. And I feel that we're in a point in our lives where we can take the feedback, whether it's good or bad. And you people that are listening to the podcast, the followers, you're witnessing the grassroots efforts. You're witnessing the evolution of Red Pill Rapport. Josh and I have great chemistry. We've got great ideas. And we have great content coming. So stay tuned.
All right.
You're listening to Red Pill Rapport. This was episode number 5. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.